Howdy Hoopers. Hello everybody. Thank you and welcome and thank you for joining me. I am Shay Rippinger of Hip the Hoopla, and if you are not already familiar with the show, this is the Hoopla of Y'all show. So it is about health, humor, and hooping. And so I have lots to talk about, and also this will be in a timed event type of thing, so I'm getting in and out in the half an hour. I was really good last time, so I'm really proud of myself. So, oh, thank you for my husband for joining me. He's all up in a whole nother country right now. So yeah. Anyway, so love you to my husband because he's been really wonderful and helpful. Okay, so the theme for tonight's show is emerge. So why I chose that theme, well, I didn't know this would all be coming together at this point, but quite like this. But emerge has to do with a little bit about butterflies, kind of coming out of your cocoon and doing all that kind of good stuff. So yes, hearts out. Thank you for everybody who's doing that. Thank you, thank you. So emerge. So here's a quick little fact. I bet you, I didn't know this until just recently, that do you know what they call a group of butterflies? It's pretty cool. Anybody type in. So we're live on YouTube and on Facebook right now. So, and there will be a recording of this as well. So anyway, they call a group of butterflies a kaleidoscope, which I think is so super cool. They have all kinds of things that you call different collectives of different animals. So like, for instance, jellyfish, you call it a bloom of jellyfish. So also goes with the emerge theme. But anyway, I thought that was kind of fun. All right, so I want to catch you guys up. If you haven't been following me with the last 3 episodes, I've been dealing with a little thing called melanoma. So it's basically skin cancer. And so I've been doing some interesting treatments to get that done and accomplished and taken care of. And so one of them has been using cannabis oil, actually topically on my arm. And also I got some recommendations, and I actually went to several doctors so to get second and third opinions, talk to some different people. So the verdict was that we pretty much had to do with the way of conventional medicine, which was to do the excision. So which I was calling an exorcism, and then I realized I didn't like the connotation of that, of like removing evil from my body. So because they're all cells, they're all part of me. So so then I ended up calling it an angel-assisted exorcism. Excision. That's an excision is the actual proper name for it. And if y'all know me, I like humor, so I like to keep it, you know. Obviously, I've cried about this one. This was not an easy one to deal with, but yeah. So last week I had my appointment. So I want to give you a few things leading up to it. So I had some issues with the medical professionals going into this that were less than supportive of doing alternative therapies. So definitely I wanted to cure it with cannabis. They were like, no, we need to go in and we need to cut, because this is what the American Medical Association recommends, and margins and all that kind of stuff. So I've learned a lot of terminology. I've learned, you know, I mean, I'm still not an expert at this stuff, but you know, it is my body, so I get to decide how it goes from here. So anyway, yeah, so I actually had 2 of the same appointments scheduled at 2 different offices. So the reason being is because one of them I didn't like the actual person who would be doing that stuff, who was a physician's assistant, but the staff was really lovely. And then the other one was supposed to be a fabulous doctor, a dermatologist, but his staff was rather not nice to me on the phone, so twice. So anyway, I ended up keeping the first appointment, because you're supposed to do the get the excision, which is the removal of the tissue, 1 month, like 30 days from the biopsy. They were a little late getting me the biopsy. Anyway, I went with the first office, and I just wanted to let you know how much angels conspired to help me on this one. From the beginning, from my husband giving me his appointment to go to the dermatologist so that I got this found out, so that it was sooner rather than later. That was a miracle in itself. Finding out, obviously, not fun, but obviously sooner rather than later is better. So also conspiring on my behalf was the fact that one of the gals that I walk her dog, and she's a friend of mine now, she's a neighbor, and she also happens to be a cardiac nurse. She came with me to my appointment. So, you know, like literally I had my own nursing staff in there. Not that she came as a friend, but she has also helped me with, you know, got my first bandage done and stuff and all that stuff. So that was really neat. And also angels conspiring on my behalf. The day before, I was going into panic attacks, like all day long, off and on. I was just going into panic mode about the procedure. I knew I wasn't going to cancel because I knew I had gotten basically like 4 opinions that I knew I did, you know, I did take them seriously and all that kind of good stuff. And even though we know some other things about other alternative forms of healing, I wanted to, you know, I did make this decision with, you know, going with the conventional stuff. Anyway, the day before, panic attacks. Major, well, to me, major panic attacks, because I'm not used to them. So I understand that a lot of other people go through them, and, you know, and they're very debilitating. So, boy, yeah, it's not fun to do. Anyway, I really appreciate our friends who had Billy, Billy and his wife Tina, who had gotten us backstage with one of the band members for the Judas Priest concert. This was the night before my the morning that my procedure was my surgery was scheduled for. So anyway, I didn't want to go. I was like, and so I'm really glad I went. And there's a really cool reason for it, and that is because I knew they were going to cut on me. I knew the scar was going to be really humongous. But the guitarist for Judas Priest had this really badass, cool thing that had a leather thing that went down. It had a ring on it, and it came across, and it had like studs on it, and it came out from the vest. It actually went down both sleeves, so he had this like leather vest, and it just looked badass. So I'm like, I'm rocking that when this stuff is done. So anyway, that brightened my spirits quite a bit. Not just that part of it. Of course, I love the costuming and stuff like that, but the music was phenomenal. I was just able to get into it a lot and do some fun headbanging. And even though some guy on the mosh pit, luckily it was the day before my surgery, because I would have punched this guy had he. They like lifted him up, and they started passing him, and of course they passed him over towards me, and it was this arm. This was the arm that has the issues. And again, this was before I had already had a biopsy, but the biopsy had pretty much healed, so that the biopsy wasn't painful, but I was still very overprotective of that arm. And the guy came down, and like feet came down right there. And I, you know, if that had happened now, I would have been like, you know, dude, don't be drunk, don't do stupid stuff. But anyway, everything was good, even though I got kicked in the arm that day. You know, it's kind of felt like I got kicked in the arm the whole time since, but I don't think it was that guy's fault. Anyway, so that really, the power of music is really helpful for healing. So I highly recommend it whenever, you know, whatever floats your boat. We just happened to be going to the Judas Priest concert. It wasn't the thing that I would have preferred to have listened to that night, but it turns out it was the best medicine. And I really appreciate having gone. So that was, again, some angels conspiring to go and hang out on the tour bus for Black Star Riders was really awesome, and get to know those people and get to know another gal who was going through cancer, and you know, her journey. And it was just, you know, just all of these things that overlap and conspire to our good. So anyway, that was pretty wonderful. So when I went into my appointment the next morning, I did amazingly get an okay amount of sleep. So my husband came in with me, and my friend Jen, and the gal who who was the nice office staff person. Remember I said there was a nice office staff person? So she was there, Donna. She's like literally an angel, and on the phone. She like talked me off the ledge a couple of different times where I was just, really questioning about all of this stuff, and she gave me really good medical advice. She is a medical assistant, so she'd been with the practice for like 15 years, so she knows of what she speaks, and she literally came in there and held my hand and did this the whole time. It was so sweet. And looked in my eyes. I looked away, of course, because I didn't really want to see it. And then I had about, a little ways through, I had my husband. I said, "Can you take some pictures?" He's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I don't want to see him now, but I want to see him later." So it was pretty fascinating to see what was done. And I have pictures, and I'm going to be doing a an article on my website. So, obviously I don't want to necessarily post that, in my Facebook feed or, and do that because they're kind of gruesome, but really fascinating though too. As my husband was saying, it's like, it was pretty cool to watch. And I'm like, yeah, I'll bet. So anyway, so on that note, I want to show you my t-shirt inspiration for today. I like pink. Pink is my business color. It has nothing to do with breast cancer or breast cancer awareness. First of all, breast cancer awareness pisses me off because who's not aware of that? Duh. Anyway, so I reveal my Wonder Woman shirt. I just love this shirt because it's just fun, and it's I don't know why I'm into gray lately. So, but anyway, I'm gonna show you. This is just the bandage. So. But they took, where I had like a little spot before, they took a big kind of thing going on there. So I can show you what the stitched up stuff looks like, because, I don't want to rip the bandage off right now. But if you want to go back in the videos, I actually did a live demonstration of putting on the black oil onto the after they did the biopsy. So one of the things I learned is when they do a biopsy, cells can get loose and travel. So you want to be careful, and that's one of the reasons why they recommend getting the excision part done, which is they take the safe margins and stuff like that. Interestingly enough, with melanoma, I learned that out of the 3 types of skin cancers, it's like the last level. So the highest level, you get your butt in to help, get some help now kind of level. Luckily, again, it was caught early enough to my knowledge, and I'll have to keep going in for extra checkups more than regular people, but highly recommend using a natural sunscreen. I also learned that regular sunscreens have chemicals in them which actually cause skin cancer. So try to stay away from those. Use some natural, and when I say natural, like zinc oxide, there's some really good brands out there. Spend a little more. Your skin is the largest organ on your body, so please take care of it, and so you don't have to go through this kind of BS, because that was ridiculous. So anyway, like I said, I like to keep it light and airy in here, but sort of. Anyway, so I have cute pictures of dogs on my phone, but basically, I don't know if you can see that, but that's my Frankenarm. It's looking like a little bruised right there. That's not really bruised, that's just lighting. But it's a big gash. They promised me, well, they didn't promise. They don't promise anything. But they did a what was I going to say? They said 5 centimeters. Okay, so here's my tape measure. So 5 centimeters is like, of course, in America, we do a lot of things by inches, but 5 centimeters is like about that big. I have that upside down, don't I? Okay, so about that big is 5 centimeters. Of course, that's close up. Now you can see by the size of my rings, and I have small hands. So that's about approximately 2 inches, okay? So this slice on my arm is more like that size, which is double. So anyway, fun fact. But anyway, so but one of there's a few things I wanted to tell you guys tonight, and that not only did the procedure go well, but I wanted to tell you about the healing part of it because I think that you guys will find some usefulness out of this, and that is for pain recovery and for your body healing. So obviously you can see that I'm in good spirits right now, which is awesome. So I'm taking, you know, a bunch of things. They told me not to take anything that was a blood thinner, so I could take, they didn't give me any pain medications, just, they said you can take extra strength Tylenol, which is acetaminophen. So I've been taking that, you know, in a reasonable way, not anything, you know, like mega dosing on that or anything like that. But the big thing that my big go-to, and I even put a thing on my feed about this, and I kept getting a lot of response back to that, is Arnica. So Arnica Montana is, it comes in like a little teeny tiny bottle like this, and there's a, let's see here, can you see that? So Arnica. And what you do is you take the bottle and you twist the cap, you turn it upside down, so this is the top part of the cap. You twist it, you get your little, the little, they're like little sugar pellets, and they fall down in here. So the recommended dosage is like 5 little things. I've been doing like about 4. I kind of go with what my body feels like. So I've been really respecting what, like I call them angel messages because I don't know that it's necessarily information that I personally have, but I'm respecting it, and I also go with what feels right to me at the time. So of course, do what's right for your body, and of course talk to your doctors, because they were telling me like blood thinners are a no-go, and I said, well, I take a lot of garlic because that's an anti-inflammatory and antibacterial, antiviral, and they're like, no, stay away from the G's, stay away from garlic, ginger, and ginseng. And I was like, no, you know, because I love those. But I'm still taking some ginger because ginger is a really good anti-inflammatory. So is turmeric, or turmeric, however you pronounce it. And if you, I figure turmeric doesn't start with a G, so I'm still taking that one. Anyway, so you take this, you open it up, and you can take this, and it's a sublingual. So what that means is you stick it underneath your tongue. So you just go. And you want to take it, so obviously I can still talk with this, like if I actually have like regular sized pills in my mouth, as my husband was like, what's wrong with you? Because the other day I was trying to take one of the acetaminophen, and I was like, and I couldn't speak very well. So, but you'll just let these dissolve. 3 tips that I got when we had our health food store that are helpful for homeopathics. You can use these, and they help them work better. So you want to take this not around mint, not around caffeine, and not around food. So, so you want to take it like with a clean mouth, but instead of brushing your teeth with a mint toothpaste, you want to try maybe a baking soda, just regular baking soda that will get your teeth clean, just temporarily while you take this, or just take this in a clean mouth, away from food, away from caffeine, away from mint, and it works better. So anyway, the reason why I bring this up is because this pain has been manageable. Now, like I have like little stitches sticking out over here. I've got 16 oh so pretty stitches. I'm calling this Frankenarm. Anyway, I showed you a picture of that earlier from my phone, and I'll put the website link up with the other pictures if you care to if you choose to see them. That's up to you. So that'll be on www.hipthehoopla.com. And thank you so much, Reva, for joining. I appreciate that. Love you too. So so Arnica, number 1, along with, of course, you know, the acetaminophen, which they told me to take. And then I remembered one thing that has been my go-to for a really long time, and that is called Ohco Motion. So Ohco Motion is the same company that makes Cold Snap, makes Ohco Motion. So it's a grouping of Chinese herbs, and you can take a lot of this or a little of this. I used to use this when I was in martial arts, and when I was on my way to earning my 4th degree black belt, the whole time that I used it, because we were just pummeled. And so, like, literally, I wouldn't have been able to walk the next day if it were not for this. And because we had a health food store and I knew about this, and the people that made this were like literally very nearby where we had our health food store. So we knew this company when it was in its more of its infancy. They've been around for a really long time now. But anyway, really good stuff. You can take this with other things. And I take this. They recommend 2-3 times a day. 2 capsules 3 times a day. Definitely worth it. A bottle like this size this is the big bottle, the super size bottle. And this was about $23. For the Arnica, for 3 of these, let me show you the box again. So for 3 of these was about $13 over at Vitamin Cottage Natural Grocers, which isn't even the cheapest place that you can get these. But they even have these at King Soopers, at some of the grocery stores, at Whole Foods, of course. Maybe a dollar more or something like that at Whole Foods. But sometimes they're comparable on stuff. Anyway, very worth it, very inexpensive. And I just had somebody write on my feed of how I had recommended this to them 4 years ago for a procedure they went through, and they were able to not do as many of the NSAIDs. I think that's what it is. Anyway, painkillers. They could reduce their the painkillers because they were taking the Arnica. And she says one doesn't forget the magic, because apparently I told her about the magic. So the magic being Arnica. So hey, thanks Kevin for joining. So Kevin was my old dance partner for college, and we call him Froggy. I still call you Froggy. I also call my old roommate Tony, and she says nobody calls her Tony except for me. Everybody else calls her Antoinette. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I still know her as Tony. So, anyway, so we're rocking this look now, and we're healing from this. So, while I'm recuperating from this surgery, from getting the melanoma removed, and angel assisted excisioned out. I am making sure nobody hits my arm and doing a lot less hooping. So tonight, since the theme of the show is called a merge, I'm going to do a one-handed 2-hoop butterfly. So I'm going to attempt it, and of course I'm going to be doing it on my left side. So again, Wonder Woman t-shirt. Okay, so all right, I'm going to move the chair out of the way. See how many things in the office I can hit, or avoid hitting. Oh, also, real quick, 2 other quick things. Mary's Medicinals. This is THC-a, which is non-psychoactive, so they're good greens. Mary's Medicinals, they do a lot of cannabis stuff that is really amazing stuff. Of course, we live in Colorado where all of this is legal, and but again, the THC-a is non-psychoactive. Make sure you keep it cold. If you get it hot, it's psychoactive. As I've learned the hard way sometimes. And then hemp oil, which hemp oil is definitely not psychoactive. That it's a cannabis plant that has almost no THC in it. So the hemp oil, I take that in, and I'm doing that as a restorative cure as well. And then also I'm doing the, right now I'm at my high magnitude of taking in the cannabis juice, the raw juice, which is 3 ounces a day. So I take 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and then 1 evening. That stuff helps cure cancer. So that's awesome. I've been taking that for a long time. My husband takes it for migraines. And again, the cannabis juice, raw cannabis juice, is non-psychoactive, and it's good stuff. So we have several friends of ours who have taken it for helping immensely, if not curing, their diabetes, getting off their diabetes medications, MS, cancer, shrinking tumors, all kinds of good stuff. So there's a lot of good stuff about that. Anyway, but my doctors didn't really want to hear that, so we dealt with it accordingly. So I got this, and I'm doing my own stuff too. So I figure they said don't put anything on topical, but I'm like, okay, what goes inside this body? That's all up to me. So I'm taking that seriously. Okay, so we do some laughter yoga in here too, so we keep it nice and light. But so 2-handed butterfly. So what we're gonna do? So you want to get what I call the world's weirdest handshake, is getting this beat going on here. So when you have the beat going down, 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 and keeping your hand perpendicular with the hoops, you're going to keep that beat, and you will keep the hoops going and moving together. So going together, going together, going together, going together. Now my two-handed butterfly, or one-handed two-hoop butterfly move on my left might kind of bite, but we'll see how this goes. Anyway, we're going to try. So we get this, we can separate out the hoops a little bit. And that's some of the precursors that you can get into. So when you separate out the hoops, what you're going to be doing is getting one hand, so I call this the thumb break. So what's going to happen is one hoop is going to pop up the arm, and the other hoop is going to stay past the thumb break on that side, so that this one will be going like so, and then you can have control of this other one and send it in the other direction. So when this is going, okay, so we'll do this to the camera. So as I'm going to get both hoops on the hand, and then I'm going to pop one over the thumb, pop that in. So one's up my arm a little bit, not quite to my elbow. And then I'm going to stop the front hoop, and then I'm going to take that in the other direction. And then I'm going to keep that beat going. And there goes all my notes. Anyway, so we're going to keep that beat going, keep that beat going, keep that beat going. Separate out the hoops. Separate them out a little bit more. Left hand side. And then switch the directions of the hoop. Then when you have this beat, that's the butterfly right there. And then to stop it, you just grab that front hoop. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with that. Get that going back in the same direction. Pop that back on the hands. And then you can get your Ohco going, which is your figure 8, and all kinds of different moves like that. So try that butterfly move. We're going to end on, so I want to keep this on time. I've got 3 minutes here. I'm going to end on a laughter yoga exercise because, you know, the show is about laughter and healing and hooping. So we did the hooping, told you a lot about healing, and we're going to do the laughter part. So we'll take a nice inhale up. And then exhale it out. And then the next couple times that we do this, we're going to laugh it out. So we're going to laugh it in, or I'm sorry, inhale it in, laugh it all the way out. It's a fake it till you make it laughter, so no excuses. Inhale it in, laugh it all the way out. I'm watching to be real gentle with this so I don't pull any stitches. Inhale it in, laugh it all the way out. Okay. Why is laughter? Oh, by the way, at the end of laughter yoga exercises, we take our hands together. We go, very good, yay. Very good, yay. Why is laughter yoga excellent to do? All right, laughter is a natural pain reliever. Okay, so it throws endorphins into your body. And so if you have to take pain medications, you'll possibly be able to take less of them. So the side effects are this. You might make people around you happier because you're nicer to be around. So laughing, smiling, that's all very helpful. As you can see, I'm very passionate about this because I've been a cartoonist for over 20 years. I've been hooping for, let's see here, over 10 years now. I've been belly dancing for a lot. So I know that smiling, getting that, getting the humor out to the world. One of my goals in life, if I can make one person smile a day, my day's been worth it. So, and I actually wrote it into my marital vows with my husband, is to try and make him laugh every single day. So, I try and do that every day because, honey, I love you. All right, so that is today's show. Let's see here. Did I get all of the, well, I got some of these stuff up here. Quote, yes. Oh, yes, I had a joke. It's an old Groucho Marx joke. I think it's from Groucho Marx, which is, and I'm going to do it with my other arm because I don't want to do it with this arm. But it's like the guy goes into the doctor and goes, Doctor, my arm hurts when I do this. And the doctor says, well, then don't do that. So, not the greatest doctor, but it's a funny joke. It's a classic old joke. And anyway, I just wanted to give you all of those cool things. I'm going to put up a cool recipe, and it's of the cauliflower mashers, because I just tried this out in our test kitchens. And when I say our, I mean I goof around with food all the time. And they taste like mashed potatoes, but it's made with cauliflower. It's really good. So very simple ingredients, easy to make, vegetarian, vegan, all that kind of good stuff. So, all right, rock on, peace out. Thank you so much for joining me. The Hoop Love Y'all Show. Tonight's topic has been emerge. We are merging from this kind of stuff into our big butterfly selves. So join me on the journey. Thank you so much for being here. And whatever you're going through, know that you can get through it. Laugh as much as you can. Do your own research. And you know that I'm sending you positive, happy, healing energy and blessings. So thank you so much. All right, rock on. Peace out. Bye.